Hey, what's up everybody? It's me, Anthony. Happy spooky season, and we're gonna go back in time to a time where it was simpler and the CGI sucked, but there was plenty of creature feature films. This is Bats. When a population of bats in a small town of Texas starts attacking the unexpected citizens, Dr. Sheila Casper, a zoologist specializing in the species, is called in to investigate with the help of her assistant and a local sheriff. Strange details about the bats begin to emerge, and they soon discover that the bats are the product of a governmental experiment gone wrong. Bats was directed by Louise Morneau, who also directed the films Joyride 2, Dead Ahead, and Carnosaur 2. So you know that the guy has an eye for greatness. Now, I grew up with this movie and it has a special place in my heart. I know it's not the best film and it hasn't really particularly aged well in terms of the CGI, but I love creature feature films, and this is the quintessential creature feature film, and I had to go pick up the DVD. This is the most up-to-date form of this movie. It's kind of weird that they don't have a Blu-ray at least for this film, but let's start the petition now. Blu-ray version for Bats. But let's get into it. Let's talk about Bats, and first off we got to talk about the practical effects. And I know I say this and I sound like a broken record, but if you know me and you watch this channel, you know how I feel about practical effects, and this film has plenty of it, but it also has a lot of CGI, and that's like the late 90s, early 2000s CGI. That was around the time when the CGI was getting used a lot in film, and we'll talk about that later in the stuff that I don't really like about this film. But let's talk about the practical effects. I'm really excited and happy that they used it in this film, and the bats that they're showing in this movie, I mean, they're the most ugliest bats that you've ever seen. I mean, bats are kind of ugly in general, but if you look at a fruit bat, you ever watch Ferngully? I mean, Batty, he's the cutest thing ever.
Hello, I'm a nocturnal placental flying mammal, a member of the family of Pteroididae, or Pterodidnae.
But generally, bats don't look so good, and the film does a good job of making these bats like a mixture of a vampire bat that we would dream of, that we think about in our minds, like a mixture between like the bats that you would see in like old Dracula films, and they kind of modernize it and make it into this. And these things look ugly. And I'll show you some pictures on the screen. They don't look like the nicest things. But the one big thing that I really like about this film, and that makes me keep on coming back year after year to watch it on Halloween time, is the characters. And I'm not going to say that anybody in here is doing an Oscar-worthy performance, but I do like the way that the film presents these characters. This film isn't really that long, it doesn't have a lot of time to flesh out the characters, but at the same time it does do a really good job of really going in depth with these characters by using just small bits of dialogue and actually showing us but not telling us what these characters are doing. It's surprising. I think that they did a good job of showing each character and giving them a little bit of time and building up their backstory. You have Diane Meyer's character, who's the zoologist of the bats, and they have a scene where she's talking to the sheriff and going into her backstory of how she got her love for bats. In the beginning she was scared of bats, and then she developed a love for them after her father let her handle one, and she got to see it up close. With Lou Diamond Phillips' character, you can really feel the love that he has for this town just by the little bit of dialogue and interactions that he has with the townspeople. He really cares about this town, and he'll do anything to protect the people in them. And then you got Jimmy, played by Leon Robinson, and we always gotta have a comic relief character, but even with his character, where it could be a little bit annoying sometimes, he's pretty much us as the audience of like the voice of reason in a comedic way. He's like, we shouldn't probably be doing this kind of thing. We should probably get out of here. What you're saying is crazy. I don't know why we're doing this. These are just characters that you want to root for. In a film like this, creature feature film, you want to have characters that you want to root for, and you want them to defeat the creature, right? So other movies, take note of 1999's not well received bat movie. But another thing that I like about this, and I'm really a sucker for this when it's done well, is the location, and it being a very small location. This movie starts off in a small town in Texas, and there's a threat looming on that if they don't stop the bats in time, that the bats are going to go rampant around the world. I really just think that you get a lot out of not having to go all over to these different points of location. Some movies can do this really well, you know, they can go travel around the world. I think of like the Mission Impossible films, where they do a really good job of like jumping across the world and being able to still have a cohesive story when they're telling it. But for the most part, I really like when they can just focus on one location and tell the story and not have to worry about the outside world as much. You can really see the inspirations of different films in this movie, like Alfred Hitchcock's Birds and Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park. The Jurassic Park aspect of the film is mainly about the beginning, where they're gathering all the special experts to go confront these bats. So I thought that was really cool. It's literally like a scene where a helicopter's coming down and it's disrupting an experiment that's going on, which I thought was kind of a cool nod to Jurassic Park. And as far as Alfred Hitchcock's Birds go, I mean, this movie is just basically that movie, but just with bats, you know? The small town getting attacked by birds. Small town in Texas getting attacked by bats. And I like when movies do that and they take inspiration. It's not necessarily an original idea, but it's an original take on a old, well-known, well-loved idea. And that's what a lot of movies do. Is not all movies do that is successful, but I really appreciate when films try to take a chance and do something different. And at the time, at least for me, I thought that this was unique and different. And I still love it to this day. But we can't hide from the past technologies that is in this film, and the CGI that we have in this movie is, you know, well, it doesn't really age well. And I can see that this being a turnoff for some people. I mean, it's ugly. It's really bad. And the use of shaky cam is also prevalent in this film a lot, because they have practical effects for the bats, but you can kind of see some strings sometimes. So they have to use the shaky cam to cover that up. And that can be a thing that people not really like, and people like kind of turned off by it. I can understand. I kind of don't like that aspect of the film. But when we do see the bats, you know, the animatronics of the bats, I think it's worth it. I think it's cool. But guys, have you seen Bats? Do you own it? I don't think you do. I don't think there's a lot of people that like this film or own this film, but if you do, let me know in the comments down below. Have you seen any other creature feature films from the late 90s that you think that I should check out? Because I really want to know. I want to watch a lot of creature feature films this holiday season and add it to the list. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're almost to 2,000 subscribers. Can't wait for that, guys. Thank you so much for your support. And as always, guys, keep watching movies.